Hey guys, here we go into a video breaking down Julian Jackson's spectacular knockout of Terry Norris. Julian Jackson, one of the pound for pound best punchers of all time, phenomenal technique, and Terry Norris, one of the pound for pound best fighters of his era. Phenomenal technique, both of these fighters. And real quick, if you guys are interested in developing speed and power like Julian Jackson, check out my Patreon. I have a number of striking drills and striking methods unique to my channel that I can teach you to develop speed, power, and coordination. Most importantly, the coordination to put these types of abilities together, or these positions together, to generate speed, power, and find a way to set up your attacks utilizing these methods. So if you're interested, check out my Patreon. There's a drill on there already talking about how to generate power like Mr. Julian Jackson does here, and a drill done by Teofimo Lopez that demonstrates that he does this drill as well. So anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So one of the first things that we want to look at is this clip here. Julian Jackson was following Terry Norris around and not using a lot of control, not a lot of feints and probes, and allowing Terry Norris to kind of fight out of whatever position he wanted. And as you can see here, electing a lot of times to fight from the front foot. Now, because Julian Jackson was approaching him from the back foot, on the back foot here, and Terry Norris is on the front foot, he's going to either bring his weight forward and follow his weight forward and circle out to his left to get away from Julian Jackson's attack here, which could be very dangerous because of the way that he would be bringing his weight, would be into a position where Julian Jackson could easily catch him with the left if he were to follow his weight that way too. Or he can bring his weight from the front foot to the back foot through this hook here as Julian Jackson gets onto the line with him, right? Showing that he's looking to fight out of this position on the front foot and doing a great job. So it appears to me that was the plan for Mr. Terry Norris. As you see here, setting traps on the front foot here so he can attack Julian Jackson as Julian Jackson crosses his line, right? So getting to the front foot, choosing him to meet there, and then when Julian Jackson begins to open up and make his attack, Terry Norris crosses his line and attacks him with the left hand, getting his head out of the position that was being attacked and landing a great power shot onto Julian Jackson. Now, we're going to leave this clip up, but he was able to do that throughout the course of the first round very, very, very effectively. Now, what we want to look at in this clip is Julian Jackson is going to be approaching from the left side. Notice how he gets on the front foot here, and this is a shout out to Mr. Emmanuel Augustus real quick. What does fantastic, tremendous fighter Julian Jackson do after he throws a right hand against one of the pound for pound greats, Terry Norris? Does he immediately bring his right hand back to his head and get back into his starting position? No. He looks to defend his position. He knows that he's out of position already. He knows that Terry Norris can punch him faster than he can get back into that position, so it doesn't make sense to try to get back into that position, especially because of the fact that that's a neutral position. He's already now in a much superior position to throw a left hook, and as you can see, Terry Norris agrees. He's like, he's on the front foot here. I don't want to be bringing my weight in that direction because he can throw a left hook. So Terry Norris has to get off the line. Now, this is an important clip for a few reasons. It shows that Terry Norris was, again, using that front foot to escape as well. So not only was Terry Norris able to use this front foot position, or fighting off the front foot, or being able to move off of the front foot to set up offense against Julian Jackson, but he was also able to use it for defense as well. So how do we wind up here in this situation? Well, what appears to happen is Julian Jackson is approaching again, feinting, right? And he starts probing at Terry Norris as Terry Norris gets into the front foot position, right? Julian Jackson has already figured out that this is where Terry Norris is looking to fight him on the line. This is the part in the fight that Julian Jackson is saying, okay, if I'm going to fight him, this is where he wants to fight. This is where I'm going to have to learn to outbox him. Okay? So he's going to have to set a trap. He's going to have to figure out a way to manage Terry Norris's weight in a way that allows him to move into a position to land an attack at the same time that Terry Norris moves into a position to either make an attack or make a defense. Okay? So he probes him here, and then Terry Norris is on the front foot, and Terry Norris says, oh, I got to move away because I can't stay there for 2 counts. If he shoots a 1-2 there and I stay there, I'm going to get knocked out. So he moves off to the back foot. And then as he gets to the back foot, Julian Jackson feints him again. And then as he feints him, he comes and crosses the line and throws an overhand right. Now that's the part that everybody sees. That's the part that's really on the surface. That's the easy part. But what's really going on here, and we're going to take a look at this clip here for this angle. So he gets on the front foot and Julian Jackson feints him, right? Gives him that look and says, hey, I don't want you in this position. And Terry Norris says, okay, you've already feinted me. I have to move out of that position. Moves to the back foot. Now as he moves to the back foot, Terry Norris gets controlled again. Now that he's on the back foot and he's going to be going forward after this, Julian Jackson feints him again. This is going to cause Terry Norris to make an action here. Because he just got feinted in this position, he knows that he's in danger. Just like he knew he was in danger when he was jabbed in this first instance, he knows that he cannot stay in this position, right? Mike Tyson says, make 2 punches sound like 1. So your right hand always comes right after your feint real quick, right? Tap, tap. So he feints him, and then he feints him. And then Terry Norris says, oh, I have to move out of this position. And he looks to move out of this position with his own right hand. As you see him start to move into position 1 from position 2, he tries to throw a right hand, and that's when Julian Jackson is able to catch him with his own overhand right. Attacking not position 2 with a long right hand, but attacking position 1 with a short right hand. Beautiful boxing right here. Now, we're going to take a look at the other clip, the one in which Julian Jackson is not as successful landing his overhand right earlier in the fight. So, he's going to shoot his jab here, and it's a real punch. He's not probing anymore, right? So what does that mean? That means that he's going to be changing positions when he shoots this attack. Okay? So he goes from the front foot here to the back foot. Now he has to get his weight from the back foot to the front foot. And as he does this, Terry Norris takes this opportunity to go from the back foot, getting away from the jab, to go to the front foot. Now, once he's on the front foot, Julian Jackson says, okay, I'm going to feint him and throw my right hand, right? So he feints him. Whoops. And then I lose control of my video. So he feints him, and Terry Norris says, okay, I'm going to move into that position, block that punch, and then come back with my own attack. So by the time that Julian Jackson is ready to throw his right hand, Terry Norris has already taken the front foot. He's already in position, in the same position that he's been looking to fight Julian Jackson in all night. So he's already there. So he's able to move out of that position quicker than Julian Jackson is able to attack it. Now, the reason that's important is because in this clip, he feints him, he gets to the back foot, but Julian Jackson doesn't wait for Terry Norris to start moving forward with his weight before he feints him again. He feints him while he's on the back foot, and that triggers the reaction for Terry Norris to get out of this position, to move to the front foot into the right hand. Instead of the probe coming, or the jab coming, then the feint coming, triggering him to move from the position that he was in to the back foot, right? Because he was on the back foot moving to the front foot, and in this one, he makes it to the front foot before Julian Jackson finishes his feint. So then he's able to get out of that position with an attack before Julian Jackson is able to land his counter. Or before Julian Jackson is able to land his counter. but a fantastic adjustment from Julian Jackson, showing how important it is not only that you have good technique, which Julian Jackson absolutely has, fantastic technique, right? The first step in boxing, the most important step in boxing and learning boxing is learning how to control your own body, right? And then Julian Jackson showing here how important it is to be able to control your opponent's body and your opponent's weight and when and how they're able to shift and manage their own bodies, right? This is the actual art of boxing. It's not hit and don't get hit. It's control your own body and don't be controlled, right? I guess that's a better way to say it. Control and don't be controlled. But anyway, if you guys would like help learning how to control your bodies or learning how to control your opponents, learning how to manage your weight, learning how to manage your opponent's weight, check out my Patreon. I have a number of drills to help people learn how to manage their weight, learn how to shift their weight, learn how to throw punches, learn how to move, and learn the concepts of boxing. Now, my Patreon is going to be much, much different than my YouTube channel. I promise you guys, the content is much more in depth. Any of my patrons will gladly attest to this. But also, in addition to these kinds of concepts and these kinds of fight-changing concepts that I talk about in boxing on my Patreon, I also do personalized film studies of your heavy bag work, your shadow boxing, your sparring footage, whatever kind of stuff that you're interested in improving. You can send me those videos, and I will create personalized breakdowns, even including videos of your own fighters, your favorite fighters, using those techniques and showing you with their techniques how to help you improve. So if you'd like some personalized film studies and you'd like to see other people's personalized film studies on my Patreon, which are also there, they're also all made public. Come join my community. Come learn how to box. And Emmanuel Augustus, if you need some tips, man, it's only $10 a month, bro.